welcome.
I like this. Welcome. How are you? Good. Hold on, here's your badge. Official company match. Welcome back.
This is Paddock 43, the podcast, your weekly rundown giving you all things F1 from both on and off the track.
From races, trades, rumours, the lifestyle, and all the things that come with the F1 world.
We are Amy, Elle, and Pat. Let's get into it. Do not disturb because Paddock 43 is back.
Oh,
With a cough. If you haven't already picked up, Pat unfortunately has fallen ill, but she is here with us on the screen.
live
There she goes.
Can I not?
from pit wall,
Yes, I'm here from the pit wall. I have
Ferraris.
some cool headphones, but they're some cool gamer headphones, but they're no, they didn't decide to cooperate today. So
That's all right.
Everything's
Anyway.
fine.
That's all right. We're here.
And we miss you.
I have FOMO.
You should have FOMO because one of our traditions about before we record the podcast is now we have a wine and some chips at
With
the pub next door.
Yeah.
lots of chicken
Yep.
salt.
So we missed you
Seven.
there tonight, but it's good that
Mhm.
you're resting up and you're staying warm.
We have a lot
The
to
heated
discuss today.
laughing.
We have so much to discuss. I don't know where to
Oh.
look.
I neither do I. I'm like, where do
That's right,
I?
You take turns.
Oh my goodness. This is just getting very
It just
aggressive.
kept getting
What
stuck.
am I doing? Oh my God, I've pulled it all out. I almost
Yeah.
pulled the whole thing out.
Considering how many technical difficulties we've had, and it's been like an hour and a half, let's just keep our hands where they can be seen.
Everyone hands on the table.
So how was everyone's weekend? What did everyone get up to? There was no race, so
No race. Do you know, now that I'm kind of sick, I'm sort of thinking like, thank God there was no race this weekend. I didn't even do that much. Had a soccer game, won, did a few things, but I'm so happy there wasn't a race and I'm so excited for next weekend. And considering how much has gone on in the F1 world, I think we were also lucky that there wasn't a race because I don't think the world could have kept up with a race and all that happened.
I couldn't have kept up. I had a very slow weekend, but the weekend was genuinely just spent on my laptop looking at things pop through.
it
And I was
also
like,
makes
if we had to do the race as well, my brain would have exploded.
it makes you appreciate the race that's coming up, which is Hungary this week, and we'll touch on that later.
Oh, it's
Mm.
But it makes you appreciate it even more because we know the news that dropped the other day.
But quickly, what did
Yeah.
you do this weekend?
Oh, what did I do? I did nothing. I actually, what I did do on the weekend, I looked up a lot of the drivers' ages because I was just,
Again, depressing.
yeah. Look, it's not a weekend activity that I would recommend, but I did it.
Which one surprised you the most?
All of them. All of them. Max Verstappen in particular.
Really?
And
Oh,
also
gosh, yeah.
Charles and Carlos. I don't know. They all just seem so much older to me.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the thing that blows my mind is Max's partner has a child. And how old's Max? Is he 25 or something?
Yep, 25.
And he's a stepdad.
To Danny Kvyat.
What?
Kvyat?
Baby.
Kvyat?
Viet? I don't know how to say her name.
Danny
Yes.
Kvyat?
It's
His child.
baby.
Ex Red Bull.
Sell
driver.
his seat, sell his girl. Boom.
Well, we had a lot to unpack this week. And I think we have to talk about the news that we hinted at Monday night
Mm-hmm.
on our socials. And then I was
Woke up to it.
woken up at about 4:30 by Tom.
Me too.
Me thinking something was wrong because he's like, get up, get up, get up, get up. And I was like, what is happening? I thought had to get
It was
out
an
of bed or
earthquake.
something. And I had to,
Earthquake in
he
the
goes,
F1 world.
Danny's back. It was an earthquake in the F1 world.
It
But
was.
It
yeah,
was.
He said,
It was.
Danny's back. And I jumped on and had to quickly jump on the socials and get us up there because that was just so exciting for us. And there's so much for us to unpack in that situation.
Oh my God.
My partner did the
so
exact same thing. He literally walked in. I was sleeping and he poked me and was like, Amy, Danny's back. And I was like, yeah, we know he might be coming back. He's like, no, it's confirmed. I was like, no. And I just went back to sleep.
I reckon Tom and David were like chatting. Let's wake the girls up.
Probably, knowing them. Because they're psychos and they get up at 4:30 in the morning to go for a cycle.
I mean, can I just kick it off with something that I told you girls that day? That I literally, our last recording, I was thinking, I had in the back of my mind, you know, because we had a lot to get through last week, and I had in the back of my mind, oh, I was thinking, let's place bets on when we think Nyck de Vries is going to be out. I thought that, and then just didn't get the chance to say it, and I was like, well, he beat us to it.
Yeah.
Or should I say, they beat us to it.
Well, I think Christian Horner, he did shut it down and said there was no chance of them dropping Nyck in the present moment. So he worded it very well a few weeks ago. And then now it is in the present moment and he's gone. So Danny's back. Danny boy is back.
Woo! Gosh, he looks happy.
I feel very bad for Nyck de Vries. I know you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan of Nyck de Vries, but was he treated fairly?
No.
They didn't even do a goodbye post for him. They just went straight into the celebration of Danny being part of AlphaTauri, which, you know, Danny also did say that if he came back to F1, racing F1, he wanted to come back in a winning car. So this will be interesting as well.
This is so far from a winning car as well.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs in that car. But I don't think they treated Nyck very fairly.
Because as well, they gave him up until summer break to get points, and they cut it 3 races short.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 3
2
races.
races short.
And what is their performance clause to be able to just cut him straight in the? I don't know where we're going to cut him straight at the jugular.
I think they just saw how well Daniel Ricciardo was performing at Silverstone testing, and although I think there's like with that, this was probably in the pipeline a long time ago. You know, Daniel Ricciardo performed really well in testing, but then was this like, I'm sure this was already in the pipeline, you know, like, was that just the excuse?
I even look back at was it when they were in Monaco with Danny and Yuki? Like, were they planting the seed then? Like, were they planting the seed then?
Water,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
Maybe. Well,
I love them.
I was reading something that Mark Webber came out and said that he actually told Danny Ricciardo to stay in Red Bull, and that all these years ago he was trying to talk him into staying, but then he went to Renault and then he went to McLaren. So Mark Webber apparently has been planting that seed in Danny's head. Stay with Red Bull.
Even after he left Red Bull?
Yeah. Well, he was telling him not to leave Red Bull. He said,
do you think it was a mistake that he left Red Bull?
I think so. And I think he knows that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that he's been just hanging around. He's so close to Christian Horner. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he'll be back in Las Vegas this year. And he was the one that said in 2017 in that interview, they said to the new owners of F1, what do you want? And Danny just jumped right in there and was like, a race in Vegas. Yeah. And so he gets to do that. Isn't that timely? First race in Vegas, and he gets to
maybe this is all been planned, and we've just
probably poor Nyck.
I
mean, I'm not the biggest. Yeah, I'm not like I don't want to say I'm not the biggest fan of him. I just don't feel much for him, and obviously we all know he hasn't really brought much either, not only on the track but also off the track. I still feel for him. I think, like, on an empathetic level, it's a shame for anyone, but also that's the way the world is. Like, the sport is cutthroat if you're not performing, and with anything in the world, with any sport, if you're not good enough, it's on to the next.
You get cut. Yeah. I mean, and Nyck has been, like, he was very lucky to begin with. Like, very much a right place, right time. Just performed when he needed to. Like, when Albon got sick, jumped in from at Monza, got points, and then all of a sudden there's like a big commotion around him. Like, he's an amazing driver, but
well, I'm loving the conspiracy theories all come out, and they're all on TikTok.
I love conspiracy
there's one
theories.
There's one about Danny Rick, that when he was here at the Melbourne Grand Prix, he was actually being followed closely by the Netflix crew for Drive to Survive. Yeah. And apparently he was being followed more closely than any other driver. And they're in Melbourne. They've got Oscar.
Yeah.
They've actually got an Australian racing. But apparently they just followed Danny. So that'll be interesting if that comes out as well. But then the photo of Nyck sitting down having coffee with Toto as well, straight after the news broke.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm coming back.
I'm coming back,
Baby,
Mercedes.
Baby, come back.
Just trying to bolt
I-
Mick Schumacher out of the way. It's my
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah. Oh, I heard somewhere as well, and obviously everyone has their own opinion, but someone was saying when maybe they think that AlphaTauri didn't make the best decision in bringing Nyck de Vries in, and then maybe they should have just put Daniel in straight away. Yeah, it would have been interesting to see how this year would have gone had Daniel been in that car rather than Nyck.
I guess we'll find out for the rest of the season. Yeah.
And then I think the other big thing to mention about this is, you know, one of the worst qualities of the AlphaTauri is its ability to brake. And something that Daniel Ricciardo is well known for is his late braking.
Yeah.
And then kind of using those late brakes to overtake.
That takes me very nicely into my next point, which I think we probably have to explore as on one of our minis if you haven't already listened to our very first mini. But so Alpha is Red Bull's sister team, but I always find it interesting that they don't really share that data. Nothing is shared. And the Red Bull car is so superior to the Alpha car.
Yeah.
And that's really an interesting dynamic. And then Danny's that reserve driver, but then he goes to Alpha. Something just, I don't know.
Well, there were articles saying that like Alpha is going to try and kind of copy the Red Bull as much as they can next year to improve their car.
How much can they copy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they're obviously not sharing enough information.
I don't know. It's just
Because that Red Bull car is breaking. Not like falling apart.
it's falling apart.
Like they can put their
hanging
foot
on by
Yeah.
a thread.
Oh,
Hanging on
God.
by a little thread.
It's there.
Damn Red Bull.
Well, we love a little bit of extra drama. It was like Lando Norris following the Red Bull team on Instagram as well. Sent everyone into an absolute frenzy.
I swear he just did
I
that
love
to
it.
shitstir.
Lando loves the
100%.
drama.
Love the
Mhm.
drama.
Just wanted to
Love
stir the
drama.
absolute pot there. I think Lewis's dad did the exact same thing at Silverstone. He was dropping news about Lewis's impending contract extension with Mercedes, and no one could really confirm anything.
No one can confirm or deny. Imagine this is all just a PR cover up for what Lewis is doing.
It probably is
Yeah.
because
Potentially.
the rumors are 250 million euros, 5 years in the Mercedes car, an ambassadorship after he leaves F1 with Mercedes, which so he already is technically an ambassador, and that would involve a whole other element of Mercedes marketing team. So that's another fee on top of that. That's, quite a big deal, just those three things. 250 million euros.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice?
I think he's on like
If the world was cat-free.
240 USD at the moment.
That's so much money.
I think that's what it is at the moment. So this would be a massive step up.
Do you guys like
Wow.
mid-season swaps?
Depends.
Musical chairs.
It depends. Yeah, it
mid-season.
depends who. Depends if it's something exciting and something that's going to bring something to a team or not.
Yeah. But like in terms of Nyck de Vries, especially being a rookie, if you've already been in the sport for a long time, it's kind of like, well, you've at least had some time behind the wheel. But it just makes it, for a rookie, it would just make it so hard to actually get comfortable in the car.
I think unfortunately as well for Nyck is he just hasn't really proved himself as a rookie. I think like typically they're obviously cut some slack because they are rookies, but for example, look at Oscar the other day coming fourth.
Yeah. Johnny
doesn't make
Herbert said rookies now need to deliver results straight away if they're to establish a long-term career.
Which is really hard if the car's not great.
Yeah.
Because we said this in our very first episode. We would love to see Max Verstappen perform in these cars that are right down the bottom of the grid.
See how he goes. Yeah.
They need to do just a car swap one day. Just all jump in each other's cars. Let's
Everyone,
just try it out.
No, you should have all the cars lined up on the grid and they
no.
all start either back or in front of all the cars. And everyone says, "Use your lights out," and then they run to a car each.
Everyone's like
Get in and go.
fighting for the death into the Red Bull. Save
Oh
yourself.
my God, I would pay to watch that.
Well,
I think, but as
Sounds
well.
like a blowtorch.
The bl- Who comes out with a
Too funny.
blowtorch? I can imagine the
There would have
blowtorch.
to be one in the garage.
Who would have the blowtorch?
what's a blowtorch?
The fire
Who would have a
blowtorch.
blowtorch in the garage?
No, I don't have a blowtorch on me. Cut
Yeah,
that out.
mid-season swaps. A few previous mid-season swaps. In 2007, we had Toro Rosso, Scott Speed out, and Sebastian Vettel in. 2016, Red Bull, Danny Kvyat. 2017, Toro Rosso, Danny Kvyat out. Then again, Pierre Gasly and Brendan Hartley both in. And 2019, Pierre out, Alex in. That's just Red Bull.
Well, I had a thought over the weekend. It might be crazy. I was thinking, do we think there is a Red Bull curse, second driver curse,
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, 100%.
right?
There is.
There is a curse, and I want to do some investigating. Like, has some witch thing? I don't know. There's a curse.
Who's got
There
the
is a
voodoo
second driver
doll?
curse. Literally, who's got the voodoo doll? Who's stabbing those Red Bull cans? Honestly. Pew, 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 pew. Maybe
Oh
it's
my
Kvyat.
They're not drinking the right Red Bull.
They're drinking the sugar-free Red Bull.
I think there's a curse. That's my theory, and it'll be interesting to see how Daniel does over the next. When I say Red Bull, I mean like Red Bull AlphaTauri combined.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, have you
Interesting to see how-
noticed, I think, pretty sure it was the other day that Danny came out and said he's happy to be back with the Red Bull family. He didn't say AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
No.
He said Red Bull.
Well,
I mean,
that's
that's
why
why
I
he say
said
AlphaTauri.
He's obviously got his eyes set on someone.
Yeah.
he's got his eyes set on Red Bull.
100% he wants that.
Well, he did
wants checkers seat.
he did the car fitting earlier this year with the seat. And that's when the rumors first started swirling
Yeah.
around.
But I mean, when they do that, they kind of have to have him fitted in case something was to happen. So really, it's kind of like redundant with those rumors.
Everyone thought it was just a bit of interesting because that really like ticked things off. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
No, I just had another theory.
I was going to say,
What if they've decided? No, you go. You say your theory, and then I'll say my theory.
Pat's like, I've got another theory, and then
I have so
Amy
many
goes,
theories.
I've just decided.
Pat and I are the conspiracy theorists over here.
Yeah, we are.
Honestly. Like imagine if they're actually prepping Danny to take Checo's seat halfway through the season. If he doesn't perform, is that yours too?
Honestly, I think so.
Yeah. And then
What if they purposely put him in to the AlphaTauri before the summer break, and they're being super savage and giving Sergio 2 races to see is he going to do something? And if not, adios Sergio, you're being booted to AlphaTauri, and then Daniel's coming to Red Bull.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I am excited to see how this all unfolds in Hungary this weekend.
Ooh,
I wonder if we'll see in the seat swaps Mick Schumacher come out
I don't think
at some
so.
point, just go somewhere else. He was in his dad's F1 car weekend just gone. Him and
special.
Seb Vettel, they went out in the Goodwood Festival of Speed.
And then Vettel had a lot to say about the festival.
I don't know too much
Not
about
the festival. He was just complaining about the part of the reason why Vettel left the sport was obviously because he is concerned about environmental issues. And now he's come out and is still criticizing and saying that the next few years are going to be interesting and what's going to happen with the sport and environmental impact of the sport. Some of the comments I was reading was like, there's not going to be 9 and then 10 and then 11 and then 12 billion people and there's going to be no water. I don't think the issue is in motorsports. What do you guys think?
I mean, he's not wrong, right? It's a really hard one to comment on because climate change is a very real situation. And I think that Formula One and Liberty and whoever takes over Liberty one day will always strive to make carbon offsetting a mission. They will try and reduce their footprint around the globe, and technology will improve.
There's only so much you can do, really.
But yeah, it's hard because it's also a business. So
I don't think the sport will go anywhere.
No.
I just think they're continuously striving to be as good as they can, and
Yeah.
obviously changes with the calendar has been a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But also people want to have entertainment, and it brings a lot of money into the economy.
Yeah.
Seb Vettel met with Stefano, the CEO of F1, about it to discuss some ideas in Monaco. Other than obviously the cars like directly polluting the air, that the F1 did have a huge responsibility. So he's really trying to address that. So
Good on him, though.
we will see. Good on him for making that impact.
There's so many people involved in F1, and maybe this is something that's always been like a back thought, and now Seb Vettel's come in is really putting in a lot of work and speaking about it, and I think it's good for the sport.
We'll just have to see what the future brings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
speaking of the future,
well, Red Bull possibly coming after Charles.
There have been so many rumblings, and I know where there's smoke, there's fire. But then I don't know. Do we? I don't know because then also they're saying is Charles going to go to Mercedes?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, but then also is Carlos going to swap?
Because apparently Audi want Carlos.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I'd love to see those two boys stay at Ferrari, but it's not the nature of the sport. And I was reading, I mean, I know you're asking about Charles, but I was reading the other day about Carlos, how, he's getting a bit frustrated with Charles. And I think there's a little bit of beef happening between them. Nothing major, but just a few little things here and there. And I wonder if Carlos is I think he's getting a bit fed up that, you know, he's done like considerably well this year. A lot of the times he sort of is the second driver and does get pushed back, and Charles gets pushed forward, prioritized, whatever.
the curse of the second driver.
I don't know either, because then also they're looking at Lando as well. But Lando shut that down and said he would rather his first win, not his first therapy session.
I think Lando will. I think I can see Lando staying in McLaren for a while.
Especially if McLaren's car continues to improve.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll leave.
I think he likes the family of McLaren.
The papaya fans.
Which is, you know, Checo, you can see understandably why he might be a little bit bored of Red Bull, because they're obviously just loving Max at the moment. But also, I was thinking about this. Surely Red Bull are sick of Max as well. He's just always looking to complain about something. He's out there winning by like 20 seconds, and he's like, guys, it's really windy. And they're like,
I have no grip.
They're like, okay, what do you want us to do about the wind? Like, you're winning. I'm sorry. Like, surely.
No, but I think they love him for that. I mean, I think it's a pain, but also they love him for it because he does keep winning, because he's so in tune with everything. He's so aware of everything to do with the car that obviously it's painful for Red Bull, but also they're like, winning, money, 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 money.
Oh yeah, but you just hate to be that radio engineer.
Oh,
yes,
for sure.
Max.
They probably hate him, but Christian Horner loves him.
It is windy. Just drive the car.
Drive it fast.
Are there any rumblings about any other drivers happening at the moment?
I haven't heard any rumblings of Logan Sargent recently.
I mean, besides, Carlos, Charles, Lando.
Even Albon.
Red Bull approached Alex and he said no, straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already been there, done that. They sacked him.
And look how they treated him.
Exactly. Why would you want to go back? But Logan Sargent.
Oh, what's happening with Logan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you guys not the biggest fans.
Although we're not the biggest fans, I just feel like it's kind of like.
Just do better.
I just don't get anything from him. I don't really get anything.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. Again, he's like him and Nyck de Vries should run off into the sunset together holding hands, because I'm not seeing anything from them both on or off the track.
Oh,
well, and Nyck's the one
if they would like to come to me and provide some excitement, please be my guest. If you're listening, Logan or Nyck, but maybe more so Logan now, give me some entertainment because I'm not seeing it.
So what have you heard about Logan?
So I haven't heard much about Logan, but I do think he will get points at least by the end of the season.
Yeah, is that good enough though?
I think for a rookie, For a rookie, and Williams seem to be a bit more nurturing of their rookies.
They are. They are. I think, yeah.
Yeah, he got 11th at Silverstone. His best performance so far. I think it's there. It's there. He just needs that one race. And then he'll finally feel like comfortable and settled into his car. You know, Nyck didn't really get that chance. So hopefully Logan at least gets it.
I think it's nice of you, and maybe it is possible. But I also think at Silverstone, like the Williams, like, you know, we discussed last week, the Williams performed really well. Oh my God, what are you guys laughing about?
There's
Where are
proof.
you going? I think that's nice of you.
I'm a nice person, okay?
I'm really nice. That's nice of you.
Oh, I can't believe Pat just said that's
That's
nice
nice
of
of you.
you.
No,
I
don't.
That's so good.
I'm like crazily empathetic, and I don't want anyone to suffer, and I would love for Logan to perform. And I do think that's lovely of Williams that they do nurture their drivers. And there's obviously, that's a testament to what Albon's comment about not wanting to leave Williams. But I do think as well, like we discussed last week, Williams performed at Silverstone.
Yeah.
They did really well. And remember, Albon did incredible during all the practice laps. And then I think he ended up coming 8th from memory.
I think so. Well, like it's
so,
just proof that the car does have a bit of pace, which is a good sign. So hopefully Logan can finally get up there.
Vroom, vroom.
We will wait and see.
So I think that is a great segue. All of them out on the track this weekend, and I keep forgetting that there almost is a race this weekend because I'm just still trying to unpack all the news from the last 24 hours, let alone the last week. So I think there's a few things that we need to touch on about Hungary this weekend before we get into our predictions. Amy, Pat, what have you got to say about Hungary?
Hungaroring. I mean, typically Hungary is the last race before the summer break, but and maybe this has got to do with what we were speaking about before about making adjustments to offset their carbon footprint. But we've got this weekend and then a double header. Then the following weekend we have Belgium, Spa. The one thing that's very well known about Hungary is obviously they're very slow speed corners. A lot of, obviously, this isn't my opinion. I mean, this isn't my opinion because can't say I've ever been in a F1 car, but a lot of F1 drivers liken this course to your typical go-karting course. It's like the go-karting course of F1. Hamilton's won 8 times. We can't speak about this course without thinking about Verstappen's win last year.
10th to 1st.
Not bad.
I mean, I wish Sergio could be doing the same thing, but
yeah, well, so
unfortunately,
Checo's definitely,
I
climbs
wish,
up.
I wish Charles too, but you know, anyway.
I'm pretty sure Max won with a 7-second lead as well last year.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So he's
Max
climbed up.
Verstappen World Championship, and then there's the rest of the drivers.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible to see. A bit bigger than last week. Silverstone's obviously 51 laps. Hungary's 70 laps. I think it's a fantastic race. I've always wanted to go to Budapest. I haven't actually been, but from what I've heard and seen, it's a pretty incredible place.
It's located in a valley, which is really pretty.
Interesting as well. The first time that a race was held at this track, it was actually back when Hungary was still behind the Iron Curtain, literally. So a lot of history. Yeah, I'm excited. What are your thoughts, Elle?
Wow. Red Bull have upgrades on their car this weekend.
How do that? Why do they need new upgrades?
I think they just need it for Checo and qualifying, to be entirely honest.
True. Put the upgrades onto Checo's
Yeah,
car.
I think they're hoping with these new upgrades, and it's their side pods have been adjusted. They're hoping for extra 0.2 seconds lap time.
0.2.
They really need it. Well, maybe Checo does.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he just needs it in qualifying. I think that's a little tidbit there.
Just the qualifying stuff.
Everyone pray for Checo. Sorry.
Especially in Hungary, a very tight and twisty circuit. So when it comes to the race, there's not going to be much overtaking. The nickname Monaco without the walls. So I very much think there's going to be a lot of pressure on everyone during qualifying. And the strategy will be quite crucial for the race to, be on pole, front row, get ahead.
Well, Hamilton also holds the record for most poles at this track.
Mm.
Where doesn't he
So-
hold a record?
Yeah, McLaren hold the record for the most team wins at the Hungarian Grand Prix with 11 victories to their name. So
Nice.
hopefully Lando and Oscar can perform this weekend, considering it is a very different track to Silverstone.
Well, my prediction is to have Lando back up there.
Oh,
Oh,
I love that.
nice.
I reckon he's back on the podium this weekend.
do you think?
Him and
Mm.
Lewis.
Interesting.
I reckon very similar to last weekend,
Mm,
but more of a fight from Lewis.
Mm.
nice.
Yeah, well, Lewis does perform well at this track,
Mm.
as we've
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah, I definitely think Lewis. I definitely think that Lewis could be up there. Potentially George. I think that's what my head says. My heart is like, I want Ferraris, at least a Ferrari, but I don't know. Vassar has come out and was sort of saying that they've taken a lot of learnings from Silverstone, and I mean, I think they say this every week. Maybe they can make some better decisions this weekend. Something that I do predict, not necessarily a podium, but I definitely think, just kind of circling back to Albon, I think Albon's going to do well this weekend. I'm predicting like a top 6 finish for him.
I agree.
I can see that.
I can
I concur.
Concur.
Concur. I reckon Checo will be up there as well.
Oh, Checo.
Hopefully for him.
Mm.
I just feel like with Danny coming back this weekend, and Danny has said that he knows the car is limited and to not expect too much, Checo will want to really push that car this weekend. He'll be wanting to prove himself before silly season really does kick off.
He knows the pressure is on, like Donkey Kong.
It is all like Donkey Kong.
So that's a bit scary for him.
Amy, what are your predictions?
I find predictions hard because I just want everyone to do well.
We are all winners.
Can we just
Everyone is a
Bake
winner.
a rainbow cake and be happy. What's that saying in Mean Girls?
I just want everyone to be happy.
I mean, I kind of think, both Mercedes could be up there again. I really hope George is up there over Lewis. I think George deserves a moment. But yes, Lando and Oscar. You know what? Maybe I'm just going to go with Oscar. Oscar on the podium.
Oscar on the
that is a
podium at
big
Hungary.
call.
That's a big call.
I know. Just because he might be like, I was so close to my podium in Silverstone. He's hungry for Hungary.
I could eat my words saying this, but Oscar obviously performed so well at Silverstone. He had the upgrades and he seems like a very serious guy. We haven't really seen much personality from Oscar yet. And you see in sort of joint interviews with him and Lando that it almost looks like Lando gets a little bit frustrated because he's like, come on, bounce off me. And Oscar's just kind of sitting there. And he's like, no, back to this. Even when McLaren said P4, he was like, thanks everyone, great time. But I wonder could it be a fluke Oscar's driving?
Oh my God, don't say that.
I don't want to eat my words.
Touching on that, and I'll say this quickly, that I was thinking as well, like how amazing to see 2 Aussie drivers out there now.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's a part of Oscar that feels like
Threatened?
Yeah, threatened and like, oh, I was the Australian on the grid now, or this, and now I'm kind of going to be overshadowed, and especially considering like how big Dan's personality is.
Yeah.
There was chatter at the Melbourne Grand Prix about Danny not being at the Melbourne Grand Prix to not overtake Oscar's shadow. He obviously turned up.
Yeah.
Well, time will tell this weekend.
If Oscar Piastri's on the podium, we should do a shot, and if he's on the next podcast or something, and then if his car breaks down, Amy can do a shot. Because I'm more leaning towards Elle's predictions and thoughts about Oscar.
If Oscar gets on the podium this weekend, I'll get a little tattoo for him.
Oh, that is a big call.
That is a big call. Sorry, Oscar, that's a lot of pressure on you right now.
I missed it last week. Your turn.
Yeah, I don't think you will, but
you know what? I think as well,
call.
we then decide what the tattoo is.
No.
And where you get it.
I'm calling that.
Oh my God, no.
Mom.
Yeah.
Mom, they're bullying
Yeah,
me.
do the mum card.
Okay, well, I think that wraps us up for this week. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Hope everyone is excited for Hungary.
Ooh, we're very hungry for Hungary. I'd also just like to say I was looking at my notes about Hungary before, and I realized that my computer has auto-corrected the word Hungary to hi, Gary. So
It is now hi, Gary.
hi, Gary. So I'm looking forward to saying hi, Gary this weekend.
Well, let us know all your predictions to all our listeners. We'd love to hear.
Yeah, we love keeping the conversation going. So if you do want to reach out on our socials. Amy, where can they find us?
You can find us at Paddock43 on Instagram and TikTok.
We will be there with our eyes open, waiting to see your responses.
And if you have any questions or anything that you want to add, don't forget to reach out. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. 5 stars.
5-star, please.
Yeah, just 5 stars.
Just only 5 stars.
Enjoy, everyone, and we will touch base with you next week after Hungary.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Questo è molto. È troppo forse dopo, ma grazie mille.